back to Living Through It, a lifestyle podcast for teens by a teen, hosted by yours truly, Isabella. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today, I have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Alexa. I'm 19, and I'm the assistant in this class.
Yes. Without her, this podcast wouldn't be a thing, guys. She is like the parent of this podcast. So very grateful. Anyway, so before Alexa and I start talking about the C word, college, I like to run through our current leaves first. So I currently finished It's Okay to Not Be Okay, which was so good. I definitely get the hype now. I definitely cried a little bit, but it was really good. And I also watched My Lady Jane, which it's on Prime, and it definitely wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. But I was very pleasantly surprised. It was really good. And apparently, I was watching it and I was like reading the credits because I was really bored. And then like on episode 6, I saw that it was based on a book.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I didn't know that. And so then I was like thinking about it. I was like, wait, I think I have the book.
Yeah.
And so then I ran to my bookshelf and it was right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really nice. It was meant to be for me to watch that. And then I'm also still currently watching My Lovely Mobster. It's pretty good. Anyways, what are you currently watching right now?
I'm currently watching, well, I finished a few things. I finished Game of Thrones, which took me forever, and then I'm watching House of Dragons now, which is really good. Currently watching RuPaul's Drag Race and Love Island, and I'm keeping up with The Bachelorette because I like her this season.
Yes, a lot of reality TV.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not currently reading anything right now.
Neither am I.
Because I gave up on Insurgent, but you know what, it's okay.
Yeah, I was reading on vacation Just Kids by Patti Smith, but I've yet to pick it back up.
Yeah, the books are sitting there. Well, the TV's not.
Yeah, no, the TV's on.
Oh yeah. I'm currently listening to 2 songs. One, Worth It by Ray, or Riot? I don't know how to say
Ray.
it.
I think it's Ray,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. And then also Move by BRB. It's really good.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm listening to Brat by Charlie XCX always, and I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. So I'd say currently I'm really into Midnights, the album. I think that, honestly, it's become one of my faves recently.
Yeah.
Midnights, yeah.
Okay. I'm currently still fixing my sleep schedule.
Yeah.
And also cleaning my room. My room's really bad right now.
You know, I realized I don't think I've, actually cleaned my room in, 2 years.
Yeah.
Things are sitting there that I've put down 2 years ago on a shelf.
No, real, me too.
Yeah, so I need to get to that, too.
Yeah. And then events. My best friend's birthday is coming up, so I'm really excited for her, but I'm not going to be able to see her for a week.
No, that happens to me too.
More than a week, because she's going on a retreat for the weekend.
Yeah.
And then when she comes back, I'm leaving for San Diego.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I get the house to myself this weekend, which is exciting, but it would be even more exciting if my best friend could be here, but she's in Miami for 2 weeks, which is good for her because she's getting a vacay, but bad for me because I have to, But I can drive now, so that will make things a lot more fun.
So good. Okay, and then I already mentioned it, but I'm looking forward to going to San Diego next week to visit my family. What about you?
I think all the fun things have passed. Honestly, I think that I don't. Oh, going to Yosemite in a few weeks.
Oh my gosh, so fun.
I haven't been in 4 years, so
wow. I've been wanting to go really bad.
It's so pretty.
It's so gorgeous, especially right now.
Oh yeah, you don't want to go any other time but the summer.
Yes,
other time.
Especially late July.
Yeah.
And then college. I know you're in college right now, but I just went to a campus tour at a local university. A little popular.
Small little college.
Niche university. Some of you guys might know it's called USC.
Actually,
I don't think you guys know it.
I don't know
but yeah, it was really cute. It was really hot. I was sweating.
Yeah, it's an all outdoor campus. It's all outdoors.
But yeah, so anyways, that's a really good segue into today's topic, which is college and everything college. So do you mind telling us a little bit about your education background?
I went to a public high school, not too big, not too small. Really competitive though, very competitive in nature ever since kindergarten. I've known these kids and we'd all been in this big race of who was gonna win. So yeah, it was very competitive. My first 2 years of high school, I was not very focused on. I was more focused on my mental health, and then I was like, wait, I do want to go to college and I want to go far. I want to go really far. So junior year, I really picked up on my studies, took my first AP class, which is AP Lang, and I loved it. I loved AP Lang, which is not for everyone.
I kind of hated it.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. But I learned that I love to write, so I really focused on it. And then my senior year, my junior, well, actually all 4 years, I was in a bunch of extracurriculars. So whatever my grades didn't do, my extracurriculars did. I was like president, secretary of all these clubs. I did all 4 years of drama in high school. My last year I did student government, like ASB. And yeah, I feel like you're a different student than I am. You're very focused on academics where I was not at all. But, there's two sides of, I feel like we all have to figure it out.
Definitely. So, you mind walking us through your college app season? Like, what was it like for you as senior Alexa?
Senior Alexa, got it. I actually started the college process really early because I was, again, really afraid that my grades would not allow me to go to college. So I started midway through junior year with a college counselor, which is a privilege, I know, but it was really necessary for me and my parents because they're first generation and had no idea what they were doing. I do have an older brother, but he only applied to one school and got in. So that was his situation, whereas I didn't really know where I wanted to go and I didn't know where I was going to fit in and all of these things. So we got a college counselor, and from the middle of junior year, he's kind of like, what do you want out of school? And then we picked through a bunch of things, and we kind of started to tier them out. Like, I really suggest tiering out your schools because you kind of want to know where to put the most focus in the application and which ones you want to be the strongest. I know it sounds bad, you want all of them to be really strong, but you're going to have favorites, and I think that's really important. So that's where we started, like, looking at colleges, going to colleges. Like, my spring break of my junior year, I was already I went to Portland and I went to Seattle, Washington to look at schools. And then that summer, then senior year on spring break, that was also looking at colleges. We went to Chicago and looked at colleges, and New York. But I knew I wanted to go far away from home. So I think that's a really good way to start. Where do you want to go? Like, where do you see yourself? So that's kind of how it started. And then summer, junior year, senior year, that's when I started writing the Common App essay. That's when I started writing that and like picking the prompts I wanted to use. And I think that's where it started. But after that, again, I started writing, and then the supplementals come out on August 1st on Common App. And so we hit the ground running on those. So I do a supplemental essay a week. So I just, again, tiered them out, which one was going to be the hardest for me, which one was going to be the easiest to write about. So we started there, banging them out once a week, and I'd send them to him, my college counselor, and then he would reread them, rewrite them, we'd go over them, what parts do you want us to stay in, which parts are weakest parts, which, just what you wanted to focus on. And I was freaking out. I was like, what am I writing about? What am I writing about? Like, you have all these ideas in your head about what you want to write about, but then you're like, that's too basic. That's not realistic. That's not what they want to hear. You're like, and then everyone's telling you what they want to hear, and you're like, I don't care. You just want to get them done. Which I do suggest. Like, don't listen to anyone. Like, oh my God, don't listen to people. Like, just focus on the writing, focus on what you think sounds good, and that's how I think you'll find the college for you. I know that's definitely how I found my college. I go to Sarah Lawrence College. I'm just gonna say it because it needs hyping up, and like no one knows what it is. No one like has ever heard of it except for the movie, like 10 Things I Hate About You. Like it's a great school, very inaccessible to a lot of people, but I feel like the more people know about it, the better it'll be. But anyway, so I didn't want to go to a UC. That's the one thing I did know, but I was forced to by my parents, which I do like suggest for every student in California, just because we have it. It's like, and if you have a certain GPA in your student in California, don't quote me. I think you have to get into a UC. Like, they have to let you into one. They let me into Merced. I didn't even apply. I didn't want to go. So those, again, I did not focus on a lot. Those are you get to pick 3 prompts, and they're like 500 words, I think. And those, I hated those. And I did all of my applications by early admission. So there's early admission, and there's what's the other one?
Is it early decision?
Early decision, early action.
Early action.
I did early action, not early acceptance. I wanted to get it all done. I wanted to know earlier. I wanted to know immediately. So if I didn't get into any of the schools, I would have like a second round of applications to go off of. Like if I didn't get into that one, like, okay, I have like a whole nother set of colleges I could apply to. But that's because, again, I didn't have the strongest grades. So I just wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I do recommend doing early action because it shows a school that you're enthusiastic about going there. And I recommend it because you can also set up a meeting with a representative from the college in the time span that you like are doing it.
Yeah.
I also really recommend going to college fairs and meeting with the representatives and building a relationship with them. I have no idea if it actually means anything, but I got waitlisted from a school called Marist, and I just went on the waitlist again. And she was like, I remember you. You walked up to me and showed an interest in Marist.
Okay.
Are you interested in like coming to the campus? So I didn't end up going because I already decided, but it was just like nice that someone remembered me and like, you know, had that connection. So I do recommend reaching out to the administrative, like the representative of whatever school you're really interested in. And yeah, that was pretty much a week, like once a week, which is really hard with school. I know it was like especially really difficult with senior year. I was taking 2 APs and both were really demanding.
Yeah.
And I was in the most extracurriculars my senior year. So it was really difficult, but like finding times, like I would be like rehearsing for the musical or the play or something, and while I was sitting down, like there's no downtime senior year, like you're not gonna have downtime, and that's honestly I pushed myself and it was really bad, but it was so rewarding at the end. I think I felt like such a weight lifted once I graduated, and it took a real toll on me senior year, but I wouldn't have done it any other way. I did everything I could. I was just like, this is my last year here, like I want to leave a mark. And I just like started signing up for everything. I was like, it's gonna go on my college application, what's the harm?
Yeah.
Just like showing interest, and I filled out every every spot for extracurriculars.
Oh, okay.
It was a lot. It was a lot of work, but I do recommend just like trying things out in high school, because by the time you get to college, it's kind of like everyone's already good at something.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of room to wiggle, but yeah, that was it. And then I took a risk that my mom did not endorse on my college application, which was I didn't pick a prompt for my main essay. I picked the make your own prompt, which a lot of people were not fans of. They're like, you did what? But honestly, I felt like the freedom to make it more of like a writing assignment than my college application assignment. It's not for everyone, and it is a lot of work to kind of find it and like structure it in a way, because with a prompt you can structure it by answering the question ahead of you, which I do recommend in any supplemental and any essay. Answer the question that is asked. Do not, that's the one like piece of advice I got, and that's the one I stuck to. Like they don't want to hear about like the dead dog, like they don't want to hear about it, I swear. But yeah, that is my biggest advice, is following the prompt, and then I guess I took a risk. I didn't even realize I was doing it, but for the college I went to, Sarah Lawrence, it's a very out-of-the-box, very unique thinking. We don't have grades. We take 3 classes. There's no prerequisites. They don't take AP credit, which sucks.
That sucks.
But it's because all the classes are non-traditional, and it's a very just, like, open curriculum that you get to kind of build yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, ultimately at the end, I didn't get into my dream school. I know you kind of talked about this, but you don't have a dream school, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, for the viewers, just want to share that I don't have a dream school, because I heard so many times on TikTok that if you set your heart on a dream school and you don't get in, all your dreams will be crushed, and you won't really like appreciate the school you get into. So instead of having a dream school, have a dream type of school.
Yeah. Definitely, that was big for me. I was just like, I want to live on the East Coast. Like, I finally, like, I was like, this is it. Like, we went to Chicago and New York, and I was like, this is it. Like, this is where I want to live. And to the people that, like, are like, ugh, the weather's bad. Ugh, this and that. Like, don't listen to them. Like, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
What was it? I was going to say something really interesting, and then I forgot. But, yeah. Like, just, like, listen to your gut in a lot of things. Like, dream school, right. I thought I had a dream school. I thought I was like, this is the place for me. It's perfect. And I didn't get in. I got waitlisted. Yeah. And I got waitlisted twice, and I broke down. I was like in the middle of class. Don't open your acceptance letter in the middle of class.
Ooh, that's going to be so hard for me.
No, obviously it was impossible. I just like, my mom would be like, don't open it. And I'd open it and I'd start crying.
Yeah.
Just don't. I videotaped every single acceptance and rejection I got it,
Really?
which I'm gonna appreciate one day.
Yeah.
I said got it, sorry. I just like, it was just like this, I wanted, and then I remember getting into my first college and I bawled. I was like, I got it! It wasn't even
so
like,
cute.
yeah, and my mom, like, it was like this big thing. Like, you just have to believe in yourself, and if you didn't get in, you're not supposed to go there. Like, your application should be a reflection of who you are, and the colleges is picked, except for the UCs, I will say that. That's a whole nother game.
Yeah.
But for other schools, they're picking you because it's you, and it's like, they didn't want me, which is a hard thing to overcome, and that's something we should let's talk about, because I took it personally, and that's just like not what you should do, and focus on like the schools you did get into and why you got into them. And yeah, that was my application process. It was a lot of mental,
Yeah.
So
you mentioned the tier system with colleges. Do you mind elaborating on that a little bit?
yeah, so I had 3 tiers. It was like, oh wait, no, lying. No, it was like 3, whatever.
Yeah.
Reaches, like, I don't even know if I can do it. I'm going to apply anyway because I really love it.
Yeah.
Just like putting your all into those applications. And then these are the realistic ones I still want to go to. Like, these are the still ones I want to go to. Like, Sarah Lawrence was in that one. It was in a reach school for me. And then schools that your parents want you to go to. Like, applications are expensive. Like, by the time you're done, you've already spent so much money. And I feel like at the end of the day, like, you just should toss all your rings in that hat. I mean, all your hats in that ring. My bad. But yeah, that was kind of my tier system. Reaches, schools I want to go to, and parent schools that my mom wants me to go to. And honestly, I really appreciated that, because those are the schools that let me in, honestly. Those are the schools. And I do think putting your foot down with like your parents' opinion is important. Like, they wanted me to apply to Cal State schools, and I was like, I'm not gonna be happy there. Like, I just know I'm not gonna be happy there. And that was important, like putting my foot down about that one, because it is a big process. And then the Cal State application is a completely different application. So it was reaches, schools I wanted to go to, and then parent schools.
Yeah. And then you mentioned that you were doing so many things like theater and extracurriculars and your 2 APs. So how did you juggle like all of that plus college apps and then still like having friends and staying social?
Oh, I don't even know. I think it was for like balancing extracurriculars and schoolwork. It was like I was saying, like any downtime I had, I was on my laptop. Like, I brought my laptop with me everywhere. Everything was on my laptop. So like literally in full makeup and hair with my laptop doing work.
No way.
I was like on a Zoom for like the like club I was doing work while I was doing it. I also took advantage of like my learning lab period. I have like an IEP, so it's basically like a glorified homeroom, or like home, like I just do my work there. I do all of my work during school. So at the end, that's actually my main tip, is doing your work during school. Like, if you have designated class time to do your work, do your work. Like, do not talk to your friend. Like, I had this one class I had like not a lot of friends in, and that is the class I got a lot of my work done. And just like, also letters of recommendation is also a really big one. Building relationships with your teachers is something that like I feel like people struggle with, because they get so mad and awful. And I feel like in high school, like everyone's like, I hate my teacher. But building relationships with them is super important. I think extracurriculars really helped with that, because I don't know about your school, but for our school, you have to have like a teacher administrator for all the clubs you have. So
us too.
I built relationships with those teachers, and then after that, like everyone wants a letter from this one teacher, right? And I asked him, and he was like, I wouldn't do this for anyone else, but if you can't find anyone else, I'd be happy to write it for you. Because his list was already full, but I was so close with him already that he was like, if you can't find anyone, I'll do it for you. So that was really helpful. And like, those letters are really, really important, especially if you get waitlisted to a school. You're going to want another letter on top of the other 2 you just turned in. That's what I did. And honestly, it was really, I think it helped me get off a lot of wait lists.
For sure.
But balancing friends, I think a lot of it is taking advantage of lunch and brunch. We call them brunch and lunch. Those periods of time are really important. Also, just going to things, like a lot of stupid things, like all the dances. There was not a dance I didn't go to in all of my high school career. Like, just go to them, have fun. Just like at the end there, my friend group, none of us are really friends anymore. Like, it was just like for senior year. I mean, except for me and my best friend. But like, it was like, let's just go. Let's just do it. A lot of that mentality, like, take advantage of the school resources you have. Because like, there's not much else to do. So yeah.
Yeah. And then, I know you mentioned some already, but like, what's some advice you wish you knew before you even started senior year?
Ooh. Senioritis is real, and you have to validate your own feelings because your teachers won't, and you will be exhausted, and you won't want to talk to anyone. And I just like got really crabby by the end of it. I was just like, I'm already in college. Like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like, half butt it. Like, you know, like it's okay to like it not be the perfect assignment. Like your first semester grades do count for colleges. So and there was a kid who got into a really good school like really early on because he got for like a sport, and then he got really bad grades, and then his offer was rescinded.
Oh no.
So it is real. Like, do take these things seriously.
Yeah.
But also like C's get degrees. Like that was pretty much me. So yeah, don't be too hard on yourself. Like, you're gonna be okay, and take the time you need to like rot on your phone after everything is done. Like, I get home at like 7 o'clock or 8, and it's just like my mom would pick me up, and I literally couldn't even talk. I couldn't even move. I couldn't even do anything. Like, don't get mad at yourself because you didn't work out that week. Like, walking across campus like 13 times a day will get your steps in. Like, you're fine. Don't be too hard on yourself, except with college applications. I would be hard on yourself. These are the things that you're deciding for the next 4 years. I mean, of course, don't beat yourself up, because I was definitely beating myself up, and that wasn't helpful. But keeping yourself accountable, making sure you meet those deadlines. Like, making deadlines for myself was really helpful. Like, the 1 week supplemental thing. Like, that was really helpful to me. And having a college counselor is great, but also just building those schedules yourself is
for sure
something you could also do.
And then you mentioned going to Sarah Lawrence. That's really far from where you live.
Yeah.
So what's it like being so far away from home? Like, what led you to even deciding to be that far?
Well, I've always loved New York. I've always loved the East Coast. We go like every other year because my dad works sometimes in New York, and I just grew up loving it. I was like, oh, I want to live here. And then I was like, oh, I could live there. And, you know, everyone was like, that's so far away. No one in my family really moves far away for college. That's so far away. The weather sucks, all of these things, but nothing really deterred me from it because I wanted to do it. And I think that college is such an important 4 years because I can't afford to live in New York. I'm going to probably live with my parents after college. So I'm going to take advantage of it and do it. And it's a lot of student debt. It's a lot of this and that. But I think it's really worth it because these 4 years I get to find myself in a new city far away from everything and kind of find my own footing. And honestly, it's made me a really independent person, which I wasn't for most of my life. And now I am. And it's just helped me in a lot of different aspects. But being away is hard, but it's brought me a lot closer with my mom. Like, I FaceTimed her every single day I was in college.
That's so cute.
I just needed to call her once a day, tell her about this, tell her about that. I was walking to class, in the middle, like, we have conferences one-on-one with our professors, so like after class it'd be like 30 minutes and then I'd have my thing, and I'd call her and be like, and honestly, she's so smart and so like helpful with things. Like, she helped me come up with my conference project and like bouncing ideas off of her, and also like interacting with different people and like, is this normal, is this not normal? It was just really helpful and built our relationship so much, because in high school I feel like we just grow so far apart from our parents and start resenting them in so many different ways, and it was really nice to rebuild a relationship so far away.
That's really sweet. And then because you're so far away from home, you can't go home on the weekends, so what do you do in your free time?
I have New York 30 minutes away from me. I'm also, if you can tell, really big into TV. So I love being by myself and TV. And also I was like in eating disorder recovery, which is also another layer of my freshman year. But honestly, like being by myself and making myself like college meals, like, filled me with it was just like filled me with so much joy. Like, I just make this in my microwave. Like, look at me. Going into people's dorms is also another thing, like knocking on people's doors, like, what you doing right now? Because 9 out of 10 times they're doing exactly what you're doing, and you can just sit with them and do it. Also, like, our campus is so small, you could, like, when the weather was nice, which is not often, we'd, like, go out on the lawn with, like, a blanket and do our workout there. Also, like, I feel like a lot of colleges have this, but Sarah Lawrence specifically had a lot of opportunities to, like, go out and mingle with people in events and club events and things like that. Just do all the tradition things. Like, we have this stupid tradition where we watch The Princess Bride out on the lawn, and like everyone goes, and it's so cheesy, and we were like, let's not go. But like now, like, I'm gonna go every year. Like, it's
Yeah.
just something to do. And, you know, like, I don't go to a sports school, but I know you want to. Like,
Yeah.
going to the sports games and taking advantage of that and going out to parties. Like, our school's not a party school, but going to those parties and, like, talking to people when everyone's inhibitions are down is super fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, take advantage of all, like, the college stuff. Because you're only there for 4 years.
Yes. And then what would you say was, like, what was, like, something that shocked you? Or, like, what did you learn about, like, the different type of environments and, like, classrooms and stuff from high school to college? Because I know you went to a competitive high school, but...
Yeah. It was definitely, like, a tone shift. I was, like... First of all, the first day of school, I asked, can I use the bathroom? Don't do that. Everyone laughs at you. Also, our classrooms are super small, so it was a super intimate environment. But I also learned that even though you're paying, like, a lot of money, people just... There's a lot of privileged people that don't understand that you need to, like, talk in class. Like, these professors, like, they're here to teach you something, and you need to be polite and answer their questions and do the assignments and do the reading. And, you know, like, just talk in class. Again, like, building relationships with your professor. I mean, going to a big school, you can't do that, but even with your TA, I think it's really important to, like, be a human being, you know, like, say hello to people. And, you know, that's the one thing that, like, I just realized that people don't do is, like, they stop being human. And I think it's a COVID thing, honestly. I think it's a lot of the time, like, we just, like, logged onto a Zoom and logged out. Like, there wasn't any of that, like, formality. And I think that people forgot. But college, for me, wasn't that, like, a big of a switch because, again, I go to a really weird college. And it was comparable to high school. But, yeah, that's my biggest thing. Just being human, being nice to everyone. Especially since I go to a small school, like, there's no burning bridges. Like, you will see that person. So just be nice to everyone and build relationships with the people you're in class with, because you will need, like, I didn't do the reading. What did you, like, things like that. That was an adjustment, definitely.
Yes. And then any last words you want to say about college and all this kind of stuff?
Again, like, you have to trust yourself. You have to realize that, like, you're gonna go to the college that's meant for you, and if it's not meant for you, there's always transferring. There's always a way out. There's always a path for you. And I think that a lot of the time, like, there's a lot of stigma around city colleges and a lot of, like, around, like, people close to home, but, like, I would have loved to have been close to home, you know? There's always give and takes, and if you want to go far away from home, don't let people intimidate you out of it, because there are people, like, it's expensive, it's this, it's that, but it's, at the end of the day, it's your decision, and it's your student debt. Like, my dad reminds me of that all the time, but it's, just trust your gut, you know where you want to go, and you know what the right decision is, and
Thank you so much. I guess that wraps up today's episode. We talked about a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Everything from college apps to going into every single dance.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
Making those microwave meals.
It's like, oh my god, I love it so much. At the end, like, I snuck in a toaster and, like,
No way.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Anyway, so thank you so much for joining me. And then I hope you guys all enjoyed this podcast as much as I did. It was super fun. You guys can listen to the pod on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you find your podcasts, as well as on YouTube, because this is a video podcast. So if you want to see the faces of our lovely voices, go ahead and go onto YouTube. Anyways, my name is Isabella.
I'm Alexa.
And this has been Living Through It. Thank you so much.
Bye.